Alright, we're back with another G-Man video. We'll give it a like before we even crack on with watching it. Now, if you don't know who G-Man is, he makes some solid content for Aussie blokes. Generally, any type of bloke, any type of guy, young and old, millennials, even the younger generations can heed his advice. So we're going to follow along with another G-Man video today. Now, this one's on the topic of cucking is now normal. So, a topic
G'day guys.
I don't particularly know much about, not something that I would quite frankly say is a normal behavior. But apparently it's becoming normalized now. I think that's all stemming from that Twitch culture. It's something that's been pretty prominent with the soy boys, the millennial soy boys, and the Zoomers. We'll see what G-Man has to say about it, but here we've got a news.com.au headline. 29-year-old reveals why she can't sleep, why she can sleep with other women, but boyfriend can't. Well, I suppose at least she's only sleeping with other women, so it's not like she's getting cream pie from other guys. I'm not excusing it, but it's better than getting all that telegony. Yeah, look it up. It's a thing, it's real. Anyway, we'll let G-Man do the introductions. It's a short video. I'll try and make it short. We'll follow along and I'll interject where there's something relevant to say. Let's do this.
Welcome to G-Man Speaks. Today, I'm going to talk you through another gem of an article written by Mary Madigan, or as you like to call them, a Mary Madigan special. So this is on a website called news.com.au, which is a major news outlet in Australia. And this is the sort of stuff that makes the front page. As you can see, guys, there's an agenda. And almost
it made the front page. Yeah, news.com.au sends me a notification every once in a while. It must have some sort of links to Google, some sort of ties, because when I Google, say, particular something now, just quickly touching on it with the AFL trade period, I'd be looking at something and then I'd have like sport AFL related news.com.au articles that I like give a shit about. Bailey Smith's heart throbbing leaked images or some crap that he's doing on OnlyFans. So news.com.au, I don't recall ever having accepted notifications from them, but once in a while they'll drop me a line. So if this was on the front page, this is a notification I didn't receive, or I missed the boat.
every day there is an article written by this particular journalist spouting out these sort of mess.
You must be subscribed to the Journalist, G-Man. It's not that old, 24th of September. It's pretty fresh. Pretty fresh. It's not even a full 3 weeks.
So without further ado, let's go. So the article is titled, 29-year-old reveals why she can sleep with other women, but her boyfriend can't. A young Aussie has revealed the modern relationship setup she has with her boyfriend and why it works for them. So as you can see, guys, this is sort of societal programming. So a lot of women will read this stuff. They'll come up with ideas. The girlfriend or wife will see it. They'll go home, talk to the husband, shame him that he's not open and progressive enough to be a real man, because this is what's normal in 2024.
Societal normalization. So the weird just breed more weird, all right? The blind, or they're not blind per se. The elite, let's just call them, for lack of a better word, the matrix, as Andrew Tate would call them, they're leading the blind. So it's becoming normalized. Degenerate behavior is becoming normalized all over the Western world. I listened to Candace Owens speak about a CIA experiment, just touching on that, where there were, let's just say, 9 agents in the room, 9 CIA agents, and there was just like a man off the street, an everyman's, just an average bloke, right? So obviously the 9 CIA agents are in on it, and they're shown a shape. The shape is clearly a triangle, but all the CIA agents, when shown the shape, say that it's a square. So yeah, square, 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 basically the whole shebang, all 9 will say that it's a square when it's clearly a triangle. Now when it gets to the everyman's, to the average guy, he's looking at the shape and he's pausing, he's halting, he's not just shooting off that he's blatantly seeing a triangle. He just goes, No, yeah, square. I'll lock in square when it's a freaking triangle. So that's what I'm getting at. That's what all this degenerate behavior is. All these fucking freaks are coming out of the closet. No, they were just all freaks to begin with. And now that it's becoming mass normalized, mass programmed, they're going along with it because there is no fucking backbone. There is no moral values. There's no intrinsic value within themselves, within their lives, within their relationships even, that everything is now so fucking contaminated.
As you can see here, not much chop. I mean, she's alright, nothing special, but...
She's a fucking degen. A degenerate.
Yeah, she's got a poor sucker on the hook that'll put up with probably just about anything, because he's happy to be there and he doesn't want to lose the girl.
Just on that, we can't speak that he's happy with this. Yeah, more than likely he doesn't want to lose the girl, but my thoughts on this is that I think men are just overall more loyal in general. Now, I'm speaking here from life experience. So, even when I was younger, I was always loyal to my basketball club. This is me as a kid, as a boy. I always wanted to play for the same basketball club, irregardless of whether I was getting a lot of court time because 90% of the team was better than me. And I could have changed clubs and I could have been dominant in another club. But I was loyal to this club. This was my fucking club. These were my boys. And I was happy to see them do well, even if I wasn't getting the bulk of the court time because I was arguably one of the weaker members of that team. And that went on. That transitioned to when I was working, when I was in the army. Everyone around me, we were loyal to one another. And all the men, all the young men that had girlfriends, some were married, they wouldn't see their partners for months at a time. Half a year, 6, 9 months at a time, they wouldn't see their partners. And when they do, it would maybe only be for a couple of weeks. The longest holiday you get in the Defense Forces at the end of the year, and that's about 5, 6 weeks. So now, unless your family actually move up to, say, Townsville or wherever you're situated across Australia, unless they live with you on base off base, you don't particularly get to see your family all that much. And every single guy, whether he was an 18, 19-year-old that had a girlfriend, or it was a serious partnered up guy, or a guy that was just outright married and had kids, everyone that I met was faithful to their partners. I'm not saying I monitored them, but I'm saying that a lot of the guys outright just showed their devotion to their partners, and I saw it, the way they spoke about their partners. The married bloke that I was pretty good friends with, he was about 30 years old at the time when I would have been like 21, 22. He described me his relationship, how close he was to his partner. He'd be on the phone with her when he could be on the phone with her. And none of those guys, like I said, young or older, never fucked around, never went out on the town when they just easily... Back then we're talking like 2012, you could fucking outright cheat on your partner. There was no real way that you could be caught, okay? You're in New South Wales, say, and your partner's in Perth, your partner's in Victoria, your partner's just hundreds, maybe even thousands of kilometers away. There is ample opportunity to be unfaithful, and every single guy that I knew with, I can't speak for every single guy in existence, were faithful to, like I said, to their partners, to their families. And we were, as a unit, as a platoon, battalion in general, we were faithful to one another. So men in general, I think, are just more loyal and more faithful to a partnership that they have, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a brotherhood, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's a domestic serious partnership, what's it called, de facto, or outright marriage where kids may be involved. All the men that I've mostly encountered in my life are generally very faithful men and have to be pushed pretty far over the edge to give up on a relationship. Okay?
I can understand why guys do it because of scarcity, but surely it can't be good for your mental health. Nova Hawthorne is allowed to sleep with other women, but her boyfriend is entirely monogamous to her. The 29-year-old described their relationship boundaries as hetero-monogamy, another term guys made up, and it is a relatively simple setup when you break it down. Miss Hawthorne, who identifies as queer, can sleep with other women, but should never sleep with another man. But that's all right, because sleeping with other women, that's not cheating, apparently. That's not going outside of the relationships.
Like I said before, it's worse with another man, okay? Like, not only is there a higher chance of STDs, there's a thing called telegony, all right, where a man comes in a woman, and I'll just leave it at that. Look it up. But it still doesn't excuse the fact that she's seeking pleasure and intimacy elsewhere rather than with her partner. She's not showing him her full devotion strictly to him. And if she's willing to sacrifice her, let's just call it love, because women don't actually love men, and men love women, but women don't actually love men, okay? Women love men part-time. She doesn't give an outright shit about him or his feelings, that she's managed to justify this sort of behavior.
That's okay, because it's just a woman. It's just a bit of sexy fun, right?
It's not okay.
You can't make this stuff up.
No. You can in 2024.
I'm monogamous with him insofar as I don't sleep or date with other men. What? How are you monogamous? But the reality is that I'm also attracted to women, and he's never going to be able to offer me that. So I think it only makes sense that I live out that side of myself as well, she explained. Like, where does this mindset come from? You really got to wonder. I think it's a lifetime of growing up, especially in the last even 10 years, and even more so the last 5 years, of all this sort of programming that's getting pushed out in regards to identifying as whatever you want. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole on this channel, guys. Other people can do that sort of stuff, but you guys know what I'm getting at there. And all the sexual, different types of sexualities and stuff like that that have come out. So they rationalize it, they hamster it, like these types of women and people are the best at hamstering these types of setups to make it sound like it's legit and it makes sense and it's not completely scummy.
It's scummy. It's immoral. It's disrespectful to not only herself, to her family, to her father, to her partner. It's outright degenerate, and I say that because she is trading it's non-existent love. There is no love. You can't possibly love a man and do that to him. But she's trading a potentially fruitful relationship. The loyalty is clearly coming from the man's side, and she's trading that for outright pleasure. Wouldn't have throw it all in the bin to get her rocks off.
The 29-year-old said that the situation works for them because her boyfriend understands that she doesn't want to close off one part of her sexuality.
The whole thing with this statement, sexuality close off, why can't you just open your sexuality to your partner? Why do you have to disrespect him like that? Why can't he be, if he's not enough, address the cause? What's the issue? Is he giving me too little sex? Is his dick too small? Is it not staying up long enough? Like, you can laugh at the way I'm phrasing it, but then be vocal about the issues. What is it there? Is the spark gone? Do we need to try something new to rekindle our intimacy? Because surely it had to be there in the first place for him to become your boyfriend and vice versa.
That was important for me to be comfortable with committing to being in a relationship with him. I think a lot of other bi or queer people have that fear of having to close off that whole other side of themselves. Well, yeah.
Bi doesn't exist. You're fucking gay. You're gay. There's no such thing.
Yeah, that's sort of what you do. That's no different to me.
I can't go and suck a dick now, right? And then say I'm bi. You're gay.
getting serious with somebody and then saying, well, I don't want to close off banging other chicks. You can't offer me other vaginas. You have a singular vagina. You can't offer me a variety of vaginas. So therefore, I think it's only right that, and it's only fair for me to go and bang a whole bunch of other chicks, but you're not allowed to go and be with other men. If there was some article about that said that I was doing that or some other guy was doing that, it would have been a very derogatory, negative.
Yeah, can you imagine cucking a woman? Even if you were cucking a woman with another man, that's totally fucking screwed up. Use your imagination, if you will, at your own discretion. But if you were, as a man, sleeping around and the woman, nah, you're forbidden. You just put up with it. I'll play you when I want, but you can't do nothing. Now I'm going to go and hit up Steve down the road, alright? You wait here like a good little bitch. I'll be back. Round 2.
Misogynistic type of view. But women can get away with anything.
It would be misogynistic right off the bat. News.com.au wouldn't get enough of the story for a damn month.
Here in 2024, it's absolutely hilarious. I don't think it's realistic. And I think that's why more people are stretching their definitions of monogamy to suit their...
No, you freaks are just making up your own definitions. That's a big thing that's happening, all right? These predisposed people who are clearly mentally ill find words and caveats to justify their degenerate behavior.
Individual needs. Yeah, you're making it up. You're hamstering.
It's not a need, okay? You're not going to fucking die. It's not a glass of water when you're severely dehydrated out in the middle of the desert or the ocean, all right? It's not a need. It's not food. It's not air. It's not water. It's not shelter, clothing. Justifying your sexual behavior as a need. It's only a need, okay, between... Even then, the right way, the way by God, man and wife, okay? But we'll let it slide if it's a mutual loving relationship between a boyfriend and a girlfriend and they are striving to take that next step. So then it's a need to bear the fruit, have children, all right, with one another, for the woman to conceive. It's a need then. But it's not a fucking need to get your rocks off sexually, all right, doing promiscuous things with other people. You're not fulfilling a fucking need. You're fulfilling a want.
It's not monogamy. You're not with one person. And guys, I'm not a priest. But I'm just saying, if you're going to commit to being in a relationship, then whether you want to have action with whatever that's not your person you're in a relationship with, that's not monogamy. You can stretch the definitions. They can try and stretch it all they want. So I'd love to see what this dude, what the boyfriend, what he looks like or what his personality is like more accurately. It doesn't not look so much. Not going to pick on someone for that, but it's the sort of timid.
It's written all over their face. I'm going to say more than 99% of the time. You can always leave a 0.1 or something or other percent, but otherwise, it's generally written all over their face, okay? You got your stereotypes. Stereotypes exist for a reason, and like G-Man's just touched on, timid, and he'll touch on a few other things that I'm sure I'll be nodding my head to.
Meek kind of guys who will take what they can get. He's probably gotten with her. She's probably a bit more attractive than him. He's never had a girl like her before. She wants to commit, but she also wants to do that. He doesn't want to lose her, so he goes along with it, and that's why guys get cucked. This is nothing short of being cucked, even if it is with a woman, right?
It also ties in with what I said about loyalty, though, I think. Like, men in general love deep. Unless they're actually rather young and they are just fucking around. But when men fall in love, it's hard for them to fall out of it. Because women never truly fall in love, it's not hard for them. All right? They might just use the word... and they might have the temporary fleeting feeling of it, but they don't truly understand it.
I see no difference. You're being with another person, you're being intimate with another person, you want to be fulfilled somewhere else. All right? That's the way that I see this, and that's why I see how these...
Men love you. Well, men can love each other too. It doesn't have to be sexual, all right? There is brotherly love, all right? There is fatherly love. But women love you for what you can give them, for what they get out of you. Men can just love a woman unconditionally, all right? It's not just me saying this. There's examples of other YouTubers that will shoot off that a man can genuinely be interested in a woman behind the counter at McDonald's, and he can be rolling up with $100,000 watch, in a Lamborghini, in a Ferrari, what have you. He can be really well off, and he can fall in love with a woman behind the counter at Hungry Jack's or McDonald's. There's a reason why the movie Pretty Woman is so popular. All right, why it's talked about. What is it now, like 30 years old, more? But you see ever so slightly cliches and women, you know, backtracking to that, how that's like a fantasy, all right? But they don't actually love the actor, the character, Richard Gere, whatever the character's name is from that movie. No, they love him because look at all these lavish things that he's providing for her. But he actually fell in love with a prostitute. He fell in love. She just fell in love with what she's getting from him.
These types of articles where the woman is the protagonist of them, right? And it's fine, it's fun, it's okay. But if a guy was to be in this exact position, he'll be getting smashed.
100.
Miss Hawthorne said because her partner identifies as straight, he is completely monogamous. So what? He feels gay, you just let him go and just start dropping neck on other blokes and doing double fisting with other blokes or whatever it is. Chicks hate this shit because she knows because he's straight. He's not allowed to be with other women because she's not being with other men, right? So that's not fair, but she can be with other women. But because he's not gay, he's not going to go out and be able to cheat. So it's a one-sided deal. It's the most weirdest one-side deal I've ever heard of. But once again, it's these guys who can't draw any boundaries. These are the ones that get cut. They're the ones that, what do they call them? They're called hot wives or something like that. I don't know. I'm not really into that saying, guys. I've heard of it. It's like a hot wife is a dude where the cuck takes his hot wife and she gets absolutely railed by a bunch of blokes while he's sitting there watching, or he's tied up to a chair, or he's sitting there and he's got his Winnie Blue, you know, he's got his pack of Horizons or Long Beaches and he just punches some durries out while...
Why not Marlboro Reds? No, that's way too alpha for a cuck and soy boy.
Some, you know, big bull is just smashing his wife out and he's loving it and he's just playing around with his little pecker, you know, just like going, oh yeah, this is amazing. I'll never get my head around that. But apparently that's what happens. Apparently some guys are even into it. I'm not saying it's happening in here, but you guys can see the hypocrisy of this arrangement and what they're trying to promote here.
It's all part to do as well when men allow for that to happen, when they just take it, they feel that pit in the bottom of their stomach because they know it's wrong. They feel that it's hurting them. But because they've let their own personal value degrade so far, stoop to such a low level, that they just let it go. When all self-worth is abandoned and lost, you just accept that you've given up and you no longer care. But you can't run from the pain, the feeling that it's causing you. That's only natural.
The openness only applies to me because of my attraction to women. And as well, a lot of these guys, and what women don't understand, it's really hard for men to pick up women. Regardless if you're attractive, it's still hard. You still got to put in work. You still got to put up with bullshit. These chicks, she can go out and go on some site for lesbians or women who want to be bi-curious, and it's pretty easy to get some action if they're somewhat well put together. Like, she's okay. She's like an average-looking girl. She'll get plenty of action. She holds up all right. But to say her...
Plus, what's the actual guarantee? We only have her word of mouth. How easy is it for her to just say, yeah, I'm going to go scissor? She's getting ploughed by Tyrone. Who's to say that's not the case?
Boyfriend was, she goes, okay, I'll give you the green light to go and be with other women. You might be able to get one here or there, maybe depending on what he even looks like or what his demeanour's like. But a lot of the time you hear about guys they go in these open relationships. They can't actually pull it off to get other chicks. And the partner knows that. And then you hear that the guy actually starts getting chicks and they can't deal with it. It's bizarre. We live in a bizarro world, bizarro island, guys. Of course, she knows that their setup is very modern, translation for weird, and evolved, which can make some people feel uncomfortable, but it also works for the couple. I think some people are threatened by relationships that look and work differently to what they were used to, but this is just because it's unfamiliar. No, it's because it's one-sided and you're out fucking growling out other birds while your husband's at home or your boyfriend's at home, and he's not allowed to do anything. He's just sitting there, at home, he's playing his Nintendo Switch that your new girlfriend bought him.
Like, we can laugh, but a degree of me feels a bit of sympathy for these guys. Like I said, they've abandoned all hope, given up on all self-worth, and see no perceived value within themselves. That's why they allow for this to happen. Men like this need to be retrained, because the liberal pathogen has taken over their minds and souls.
I think people opening up their relationships is a good thing. It leaves room for both partners to live out their complete, authentic selves instead of putting restrictions on each other. Yeah, and let's see how that goes if he was to go out and start, being gay and sucking off all these blokes. Pretty sure she wouldn't like that. Miss Hawthorne said she's never considered officially bringing a third into the relationship, and her dalliances outside the relationship don't overlap.
Yeah, let him play the other chick. Bring her in. I mean, you're seeing chicks. You're already doing whatever it is that you're doing with that chick. Just bring your partner into it. Let him plow her too. Find another. Buy one, right? Since buy is a thing and you're not all just gays.
With her main relationship, because she's out just getting smashed by strap-ons. We haven't discussed the possibility of me having a second committed relationship with a woman. Right now, my focus is on maintaining my connection with James while exploring my attraction to women in a more casual context.
AKA using the things I like to get out of James, but not truly giving a fuck about him.
Said, and just dropped his name in there for all his mates to know.
Draining what's left of his soul.
That he's an absolute cuck. You're a soy boy.
Or perhaps wallet.
Soy beta cuck, dude. Soy boy beta cuck. And I don't use those words lightly. You're putting up with any of this sort of rubbish. There are a lot of guys out there who put up with this sort of crap, or their girlfriends or wives come home with this sort of crap because they read this shit or they hear about it or hear about other people doing it with these one-sided beneficial relationships. Absolutely bizarre. That's why I'm sharing this article, because I think it just beggars belief that people can actually do it. Of course, Miss Hawthorne doesn't think this situation would work for everyone, but she said it works for them because they communicate. I think being really open and honest with your partner is key. That's true for every relationship though. I don't think a relationship, whether it's traditional or not, can survive long term without healthy communication.
Also, because you're communicating with him, that makes it okay. Well, the communication is there and it's good. We thrive in here.
And that's the article, boys. But let's just recap what this is doing. So this article here is promoting a womanist agenda, a polygamous lifestyle, even though she's not in a relationship, but she has an open relationship. It's okay for women to pursue these types of arrangements. That's fine, because that's being normalized in the news.
An arrangement is usually between two people, and I'm not entirely convinced this is arranged, as in he signed off on this. I feel as though probably a large degree of, pressure, coercion. But if there's not a sinking pit, a decline in everyday value and quality of life from this happening to you, whether it's you want to take it literally like behind your back, behind your back or to your face, you're, like G-Man said, pulling your pecker while you're watching this shit go down. You need serious retraining, okay, of how to compose yourself and be a fucking decent, normal man, okay? You need to come see G-Man or you need to speak to me.
But if a guy wants to do it, he's a creeper. And the thing is, if guys really want to do this, unless he's a real top-tier guy, girls get jealous. Really hard to maintain having a whole bunch of different chicks on the go at the best of times, let alone having a girlfriend that also knows you're out sleeping with other women. Like, I've heard of situations where they have opened up the relationship, and when I say heard, I've just heard stories on the internet and on other videos on YouTube and things like that, where it backfires on the woman because the guy starts going out and getting heaps of action with different chicks. And she's like, oh, hang on, no, I don't like this arrangement anymore. Because obviously the woman thinks that they're just going to be the one who gets everything. And the boyfriend or husband is the one sitting at home. This dude's out, just railing chicks. He loves.
My very first girlfriend broke up with me. And after about 6 months, when I was about 22 years old, lost a heap of weight, got jacked. And she actually paid for like premium subscription to be able to search the local area of where I live, because she was from a different state. And I know she searched me because she sent me a fucking email saying, you're on dating apps, we've only broken up like 4 or 5 months ago, you piece of shit. I never loved you, I never cared about you. I look back at that and like, yeah, you never did. What did I just say about women don't actually love you? You know, it's pretty funny because months and months can go by when I've broken up with, say, my partner. I wouldn't just say I don't love... Like, of course I love them. It's not just something you can fucking turn off. Like, when you love, you fucking love. It's not just something that turns off. Yeah, for the sake of your sanity, for the sake of your mental health, for your spirit, all right? For your potential to be able to let go and grow. Eventually that love has to die out. But it doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't just happen in a week or even a month. Sometimes it can take half a year or half a fucking lifetime, depending on the circumstances of how the relationship might have fallen apart. Anyway, I'll let G-Man conclude it, round it out. I'm rounding out right now so I don't have to pause G-Man again. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked the video, give it a like so I know you liked it. And leave a comment with any sort of thoughts or feedback or requests, potentially, of a topic you might want me to touch on. And we'll see you back here again soon. Peace.
Loves it. And they want to stop it. And then the relationship blows up because he's like, well, hang on. It was all right for you and you were out doing whatever you wanted, but now I've actually been able to do it and maintain an arrangement like this and have shown that I'm capable of getting the attraction and into bed with other women. Now you want it to stop because you're selfish. So, as they say, guys, rules for thee, but none for me. Do as they say, but not as they do. And that's what we're starting to learn a lot about women, especially in 2024 with this stuff, guys. Without dragging this video on further, thanks heaps for watching. If you haven't subbed and you like the content, please subscribe. See you in the next one. Just a quick video from me this morning.